Hello everyone. Sorry for the wait. I was just still in the middle of procrastinating the script as of the last 20 minutes ago, but we are definitely live now. So sorry again. My apologies again for the long wait, for those 20 minutes of wait. And now we have finally come to formally introduce the second edition, the September edition, the second episode of State of the VTuber Community. So, good morning, good afternoon, and evening to everyone. My name is Double M, here to present the second episode of the State of the VTuber Community. As you may have noticed, days of... hold on. Let me try it again. Sorry. I have it very loud, so I'm sorry. So, again, let's start from the very beginning. So good morning, good afternoon, and evening to everyone. My name is Double M, here to present the second episode of the State of the VTuber Community. As you may have noticed, days have passed and we're already 3 months before the start of the new year. Let's reflect on what happened thus far as we count down to the historic new beginning of the calendar. As such, we'll be discussing 7 topics in today's airing, or 8 topics in today's airing. There's been some awful cases about arguments regarding trivial matters that should be kept private. Let's talk. I'm sorry. As such, we'll be discussing 7 topics in today's airing. There's been some awful cases about arguments regarding trivial matters that should be kept private. Let's talk about them. A minor is a part of a VTuber agency, Akio Air. Let's dive into what happened during that fiasco and what is their response, or what are their responses. We'll also have the recent update regarding an ex-talent who shares her unfortunate experiences with that agency. Glitch x Marina VT. We'll discuss the reasons behind the backlash as we await statements from Glitch. NIJI Sanji Salamis collaborates with Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications, MIC, on how to take actions against online slander. We'll also discuss the following non-VTuber topics: Unity runtime fees, and how it has impacted the community in a negative light. Sino Aris, a Japanese RPG, is sunsetting its global edition on 15 November. Emmy, a longtime friend of mine, issued a statement regarding the notice. We'll also be discussing the following portions: V-Stream updates, bringing all the updates during the entirety of the month. And you'll be hearing the next few updates from yours truly, the benefactor, with regards to the VTuber Collective VTresMarias, V San rino no Maria. Now, before we begin, we advise to exercise caution as this program may contain mature or sensitive topics. Also, this program aims for information dissemination, and personal views were only situated with the host. We condemn the utilization of this program to aid in further harassment and attacks against persons mentioned. Now let's discuss the first topic, which is about how a series of heated arguments were taken to social media. Now let's face it, what we post on the internet is basically publicly available, and it matters regardless of what actions we take online and offline. Someone will make a scoop out of it, and eventually people will start peeking into what's on the menu. Let's take an interesting case of 2 people who were arguing about their so-called partners and other shenanigans against each other, that one had to essentially post them on a platform like X or Twitter. That resulted in the other party doing the same. Take note that I'm vaguely describing them with regards to this topic as to protect their privacy. But consider this case. Although there's a reason of provocation that one had led to essentially leak out the whole thing, it's not essential to bring up about the arguments in public in the first place. While most comments I've seen on both parties are sympathies, the responses are just the gist of what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe a commenter suggested a coordinated attack on the other party without one noticing. A little PSA to everyone. Try to at least address the arguments presented against you in public, and don't let your anger devour your rationality. Think things through and talk it out in a well-mannered approach, and get to peaceful terms with the opposite side. I will have to revise what was said there. I would have to take back what I said there and revise it. So a little PSA to everyone. Try to at least address the arguments presented against you in private, and don't let your anger devour your rationality. Think things through and talk it out in a well-mannered approach and get to peaceful terms with the opposite side. Most people fail at it, so consider at least some positive options on the way. Now for something completely different. We all know how the VTuber community has its quirkiest and even stranger sides to it. Oftentimes, I also see some VTubers who are not what we seem to see at all. The same concept goes for VTubers who are minors in general. Some of them are already spotted in the wild. Heck, in my experience, I have at least one or two who are in the same boat. But from that same experience, it appears nothing is wrong with them being both minors and VTubers, so that wouldn't be an issue. What does remain an issue, however, is that there are minors who are a part of the agencies where we at least expect them to be. Such is the case of the subject, Princess Nofi from Akio Air. As you may have noticed, such results on X double quoting Akio Air and minor have revealed certain unprecedented backlash from the community for Akio Air over their inclusion of a minor in their talent slate. Some of the posts have confirmed that the same agency had decided prior to Nofi's inclusion that they have exempted her restriction for being under 18 years old, a major standard in auditioning. In response to the backlash, Akio Air has released two statements, Nofi's defense, and their clarifications and updated policies. I'll read them here. Published 6 September. At Akio Air, we are dedicated to facilitating opportunities for individuals to pursue their dreams and career paths under the most favorable conditions, leveraging their talents and implementing appropriate measures to protect them. We wish to use this communication to inform our prospective audience of our unwavering commitment to enhancing transparency and ensuring the protection of minors, including both our talents and viewers. With this statement, we wish to inform you of our strict prohibition on the creation or dissemination of explicit content or fan art relating to Nofilia Amelie de Monteclair, or Nofi, as she is identified as a minor in the majority of jurisdictions worldwide. Our decision to include Nofi as a part of our talent roster arises from her prior involvement in performing arts within her previous career, coupled with her fervent pursuit of a career akin to acting renders it incumbent upon us to assert that refusing an opportunity based solely on age constitutes an unduly harsh, inequitable, and unjust decision. Our team has conducted a comprehensive evaluation of Nofi's talents, and this assessment has been further reviewed in consultation with her parents and relevant personnels. We have unanimously agreed that Nofi possesses remarkable abilities that render her eminently suitable for a career in the performing arts. With the full support and consent of her parents, we firmly believe that this decision is in her best interest, affording her the opportunity to learn and gain valuable experience as an actress, should she choose to continue on this career path. We sincerely hope that you appreciate our unwavering commitment to helping individuals fulfill their dreams while ensuring the utmost protection for Nofi in her journey. Thank you for your understanding and support. Next, we got 9 September publication of the statement. We would like to express our gratitude to everyone for the valuable feedback and comments received concerning our previous notice regarding Nofi. In response, we are committed to providing further details to enhance transparency in our actions. First and foremost, we acknowledge that we have taken proactive steps to provide greater protection for Nofi's Twitter account from the outset. To address this, we have implemented the following policies. Our management team will now oversee Nofi's Twitter account temporarily before relaying any information to her. Any comments, regardless of intent, that could be construed as attacks, harassment, or those that we believe would make Nofi highly uncomfortable will be moderated through pruning, hiding, and blocking for Nofi's well-being. Due to the extensive scrutiny and potential misinterpretation of tweets or posts, likes, and comments, Nofi's Twitter account will now serve exclusively for official announcements and will not be used for personal commentary at this time. Furthermore, we'd like to apologize for any delay in addressing rumors. We want to inform you, with Nofi and her legal guardian's external expression, that she will be receiving her legal maturity status next year. While we have recognized her legal and cultural eligibility to make decisions, exercise civil rights, and participate in elections, which may be acceptable for individuals aged 18 and older in other regions, we had initially declared her as a minor. This was done in the interest of maintaining transparency on this matter. Regarding harassment directed towards our talents, during our audition process, we enlist external members to assist in evaluating the audition applications. We wish to emphasize that none of our onboarding talents participate in this decision-making process concerning the recruitment of our talents. The responsibility for evaluating Nofi's abilities and bringing her on board lies solely with our management team. Our talents were not involved in this process, nor they were aware of any decision-making aspects or consulted on Akio Air's choices of talent. We kindly request that any concerns or feedback related to our decision to include Nofi not be directed towards our talents. They are not involved in our recruitment and in our contractual relationship with her. Instead, if you had feedback, please direct your communication to management at management@akioair.com rather than harassing our talents, and we will address it through the appropriate channels. First and foremost, from their 6th September statement. Although it has been confirmed that parents and/or legal guardians were involved in this case, I still can't fathom how they might have explicitly stated that 18 or above are only allowed, regardless of extensive requirements. It's kind of unbelievable, but in today's society, any person, regardless of age, are able to get in. Minors should get consent from related adults, so I can give Akio Air some credit. But the fact that they introduced her afterwards with a rather adult joke concerns the community to a degree. I mean, did Novi did that adult joke on impulse? Or was it because she wants to adhere to the internet trends that most people do? Anyhow, reading through the statement reveals that regardless of the extensive evaluation and consent from her parents, the fact that they chose to let some adult joke slide into the introduction speaks volumes of concern. Which brings us to the second statement that Akio Air provided last 9 September regarding the updated platform policies and their approach to defending their talents from harassment, because that's what the content of their next statement is, to be honest. First off, Akio Air clarifies that any attacks of any form against Nofi or other talents are sussed out. For that period, most of the PR will be under their management for the time being. In addition, despite the delays, while rumors regarding Nofi being a minor is confirmed, they also clarified that she'll be in her legal age in 2024. Now let's assume that from that regard that she'll turn 18 at that year. The third part. Their enlistment of external members to assist in the auditions concerns me, because if they have noticed that an auditionee is a minor, regardless of consent, they can throw the application off the window. The question is, are those external members related to Akio Air? If not, which agency are they affiliated with, assuming they are not independent VTubers? Also, it would concern the management because it feels like in the entertainment industry, also would concern the management because it feels like the entertainment industry where you debut a child star. But instead of a proper introduction, again, what they introduced to Nofi is a bit inappropriate. And it can still confirm by the time of presenting this that their introductory post, dated 23 August, is still up. My suggestion to Akio Air, get your stuff together. If you really want a minor to be inducted as a part of your team, then you should at least enforce your strict monitoring procedures just like a normal parent would. And don't let your PR get away with all those kinds of inappropriate jokes. This isn't Hololive or Nijisanji. You let yourself have a minor, it's your responsibility to take care of them. Anyhow, from what I've gathered so far, there has been no official statement from Princess Nofi or her family regarding that matter. But in the event that she does, hit me up on X and I'll include it in the next airing of this program. And just earlier before today's airing, we got a development regarding one of their ex-talents known as Night Owl Athena. In her statement, she denounced the agency due to their negligence in their duties, unreasonable demands, and threatening the talent who will go against the management's will. Here's the full statement. I want to announce that I will no longer be associated with Akio Air effective immediately. I am fed up with all of the legal threats and emotional abuse that I and the other talents of Akio Air have been receiving from the company. There are several reasons why I've decided to leave Akio Air. Notably, the company refuses to pay me on time, and they have failed to support my project several times. When I bring it up, they simply string me along and tell me it's not a good time. I've worked hard for this company and did my best for it, but they seem to just see me as just another employee for them to take advantage of and exploit. The final straw, as you may be aware, Akio Air announced on September 5th, acknowledging hiring a minor for our second generation of talents, which I was unaware of until the actual post on Twitter. It reinforces the idea that they simply don't care about the company's talents. Akio Air has continued to send baseless threats, stating that they would sue me due to gross negligence and defamation. However, the company was the one who initially harmed our image as talents contracted under the company name. They offered an alternative, a way to possibly agree not to sue me. They told me to shut up and do whatever they say, to stream, to not post, to not to anyone. If I do this for at least 2 months, they give me a new list of demands for me to comply with. I asked them that if I did all of this, would they promise not to sue me? Their response, no promises. They just asked me to trust them. Even after complying with all of their demands, they said they still may decide to turn around and sue me. When I told them how absurd that was, that I could do everything they said and they would still come after me, they replied, "You are not in a position to make any requests." The emotional manipulation and abuse didn't stop there. Our CEO, Jason, kept being hostile and personally threatened my livelihood and career as a nurse. Then, when I resist his demands, he pretends to be my savior, telling me that he's just trying to save me from the legal department and that he's my only hope. At that point, I felt so dirty and disgusted, and it made me realize how manipulative and emotionally abusive he is to me, and most likely not just me in the company. I tried my best to find an amicable way to part ways, but it's now clear to me that, at best, he has just been wasting my time and, at worst, turning me into his personal slave. While this company may have been based on a VTubing fantasy, I'm a real person, and this is real life. I am done with Akio Air and their professional mismanagement and emotional abuse. I've worked my ass off for Akio Air for the past 2 years, and they decide to treat me like dirt and even threaten to sue me for everything I have without remorse. I just want Jason and his company to leave me alone, and I really hope that they will treat their future talents far better than they treated me. I will not give up hope on this community. You are the reason why I continue to do what I love. I hope to have everyone's continued support in this matter. I apologize for making everyone worry, and I will keep everyone updated on future proceedings. Athi. Now, from her statement, we can safely say that Akio Air not only internally backlashes the critics for recruiting a minor, they deliberately backlash the talents who will go against their will. And take note, Athena has an IRL job as a nurse. Reminds me of Yukime, to be honest. When I read the statement that the agency's CEO deliberately threatened her livelihood and career, it's at this point that she automatically described Akio Air as an emotionally abusive agency who can do what they want and silence the criticisms that go against their actions. So, my personal words to the CEO, Jason. After everything that had done with Nofi and now with Athena, I thought I already gave you the credit. But with this development, I'm taking it all back. Not only did you deliberately induct a minor regardless of consent from her parents, but your willingness to let things go your way by abusing your talents emotionally. What you did is deliberately unacceptable. You'll experience the karma that things will not go on your way soon. Nofi, Athena, and others deserve better treatment than what you did. Now for this next topic. Imagine a scenario when someone gets partnered with a famous brand. Every streamer, including VTubers, have dreamed of that, and some, from my perspective, have been able to achieve this feat. For example, CureHS with Instant Gaming and Mad Monk, and Valhalla and Shy Lily with Gamer Subs. Anyhow, let's take a look at this case where a partnership receives huge amount of backlash from the community that they decided to silence them in the deliberate way possible. Hiding their replies. Let's talk Glitch and Marina VT. But wait a minute, what is Glitch and who is Marina VT? Well, glad you asked. Glitch Energy is basically another version of Gamer Subs, where they partner with streamers or influential people for promo codes. What sets apart from Gamer Subs is that they don't offer tumblers of any form, just powdered drinks, or at least that's what I initially come up with when I'm writing this script. Anyhow, while most of what they offer are convincing, some reviews that is related to them seemed otherwise. Bad quality, bad taste. Well, what about Marina VT? Although there's no info about her on virtual YouTuber wiki other than the fact that she's aligned with LGBT+, she has 23.7k followers on Twitch, 33.4k on X, and 12 followers on VStream as of last report. She streams a variety of things, especially sexual education to keep the audience informed about certain topics. Tomasias, hello! Welcome to the stream. Now, Glitch partnered with Marina on 10 September and buyers can use her promo code for discount. On the surface, it looks like another VTuber successfully partnered with a famous brand, but under it, a lot of community backlash has ensued. Ryan Shinigami stated that Glitch inducted someone who harasses people over a video game, falsely slandered a VTuber as a pedophile, and is all around problematic. Episode 1121 quoted, "Nice to know you support someone who sends harassment mobs to someone who played a game." Other commenters include the person who openly harassed Pikami, a tyranny harasser, known harasser and doxer, and that she's friends with a sexual predator with a preference for 15-year-old girls. Marina got herself in the hot water with all of the fiasco that 4 days later, on 14 September, she issued the following long post, thanks to X Premium, addressing all of these as false and non-credible lies. Let's take a look at let's look through the relevant case. Marina has made some snarky remarks, but she claims that it was not an incitement for harassment. She even mentions that she once replied to a account which states, "It's copium to think there's nothing wrong with streaming it," which can be classified as a snarky response. But she adds in her defense on that notion that while the term copium is a snarky response, she said that the harassment label is a gross mischaracterization of that. She also expressed in a statement through various screenshots sent via Discord, CDN, Cloudflare, that they don't deserve any harassment, that the screenshot was taken out of context as harassment. Now, before we go on further, what was going on with Hogwarts Legacy versus LGBT+ for others to receive such hate? According to an article from NBC News dated 11 February, Hogwarts Legacy has been met with unprecedented controversy due to Harry Potter's creator J.K. Rowling's outspoken views on LGBT+, which are seen as transphobic. Despite the criticisms, the game has received fairly positive reviews, while they noted that the game's real-world harms are impossible to ignore. Anyhow, Marina has shared her defenses and thoughts about the whole ordeal during a podcast hosted by Mizuhana Oshibe, and you can check him out on the YouTube via the URL that I'll be posting in the chat. As for the backlash, from what I can gather, Glitch has not issued a statement yet on this matter. What were your thoughts about this ordeal? Please send them here and I will read them after discussing all the topics. Now for the final VTuber related topic. NIJI Sanji's Hyakumanten Bara Salome teams up with Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs (MIC) and Communications, Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications (MIC) for information on dealing with online slander. Through MIC, Salome indicates the usage of mute, or block to deter online slander. Victims can also file for Provider Liability Limitation Act, countering incidents of defamatory posts made against them. The MIC has provided a URL which explains in full detail on how to protect yourself from slander, shown in Japanese. You can check out the following at the URL presented here. According to VTuber News Drop, this isn't the first time NIJI Sanji has involved in such measures. Parent company Anycolor Incorporated announced, which was reported in 1 February, that a specific harasser targeting NIJI's Yuki Shihiro has been ordered to pay approximately $9.2k US, equivalent to around 1.2 million Japanese yen. Both Anycolor and HoloLime's Cover Corp have collaborated with regards to combating online slander, and has established a review group with other tech giants under the Creator Company Association (CEA) Japan to aid in countermeasures against these infractions. Now we're into the realm of non-VTuber topics, but I feel like expressing them anyway, as some of the VTubers seem to know about it. Let's first start it off with Unity runtime fees. Unity, the backbone of some of the popular titles and apps, including VC Face and VTube Studio, has announced a ridiculous runtime fee affecting all tiers, including Unity Personal, on 13 September. It caused public outrage, as most free games nowadays came from Unity. In a nutshell, the former runtime fee accounts for 20 cents US per install for any game with more than 200k lifetime installs, analyzed by IGN SEA. Relogic, the developers behind Terraria, has made a statement regarding that. Let me read it out for you. The team at Relogic has been watching the recent events surrounding Unity with both interest and sadness. The loss of a formerly leading and user-friendly gaming engine to the darker forces that negatively impact so much of the gaming industry has left us dismayed, to put it mildly. While we do not personally use Unity outside of a few elements on our console/mobile platforms, we feel like we cannot sit idly as these predatory moves are made against studios everywhere. We unequivocally condemn and reject the recent TOS, or fee changes, proposed by Unity and the underhanded way they were rolled out. The flippant manner with which years of trust cultivated by Unity were cast aside for yet another way to squeeze publishers, studios, and gamers is the saddest part. That this move was wholly unnecessary pushes things into the tragedy category, a cautionary tale that the industry will not soon forget. We do not feel that a simple public statement is sufficient. Even if Unity were to recant their policies and statements, the destruction of trust is not so easily repaired. We strongly feel that it is now equally important to get behind some of the other up-and-coming open-source game engines, lighting some candles in an otherwise dark moment. To that end, we are donating $100k US to each of the open-source engines listed below. Additionally, we are sponsoring each of these projects with $1,000 a month, each moving forward. All we ask in return is that they remain good people and keep doing all that they can to make these engines powerful and approachable for developers everywhere. The game engines listed here are Godot Game Engine and FNA. Relogic has always been supportive of game developers and indie studios that do things the right way. We feel that our actions in this moment are the best way to carry that mission forward by accelerating and strengthening competing open source game engines. We hope to empower and assist studios that are struggling with how best to proceed given these recent events. Unity has made several apologies and reassurances, but they offer little help as public distrust has ensued within the community. Mark Whitten, president of Unity Create, published an open letter on 23 September to deeply apologize for all the miscommunication that they have caused. With this, they have laid out the new runtime fee to be effective with the release of Unity 2023 LTS by late 2024, which is free for personal subscriptions. On another note, according to Mercure on r/Unity3D, the other cause of the controversial runtime fee will be the utilization of Iron Source ad provider, although this is outlined at mobile experiences. But based on such observations by Protopop Games, they assume that Iron Source played a large part in a runtime fee decision. We'll see this when this new policy stays true on 2023 LTS release. Now, some of the VTubers, like Etra, may have covered this one in their streams, and in fact I was planning to on it as well. Shino Odyssey, a Japanese RPG by Square Enix and Pokélabo, has announced that it will close down the library, at least for Global Edition, on 15 November at 5 AM UTC. It has expressed its deep regret, as indicated by the Pokelabo's producer, Shogo Maeda. Here's the official statement. Thank you for playing Shino Odyssey. This is Pokélabo Incorporated Shino Odyssey producer, Shogo Maeda. We understand that this announcement might come as a surprise to our users, but as previously mentioned in the end of service notice, it is my deepest regret to inform you that we'll be concluding our service on 2023 11/15 4:59 UTC. We have devoted ourselves to devising and implementing ideas that would allow players to enjoy the game for years to come, but despite our best efforts, we have fallen short of sustaining this goal. We deeply apologize for the situation. The global version began operation back in July 2020, and thanks to all our users, we've managed to keep it going for over 3 years. We were able to hold the World Grand Coliseum twice through the support of our global players, and personally I was truly moved by the way people from around the world, including players from the JP version, connected through the event. The main story will conclude with currently released Act of Elimination. Furthermore, as part of our operations through October 31st, we have prepared the following events for our last Big Thanks campaign. Big Thanks Free Grimoire times 11, Big Thanks Mission, The Last Coliseum Sin, plus others. We hope you continue to enjoy the game leading up to The Last Coliseum. Lastly, while there are moments when we might have inconvenienced our users, we're grateful to have been able to operate for more than 3 years. We want to extend our sincere thank you to all the users who supported and livened up our activities on Discord, the royal creators who contributed to excitement by streaming Shino Odyssey on platforms like YouTube, and to all the users who consistently enjoyed playing the game. We can't thank you all enough for being a part of the community. Although we're nearing the end of our service, we hope you make the most out of Shino Odyssey Global to the very end. Thank you. From Pokélabo Inc. producer, Shogo Maeda. The Global Edition has 2 active events ending on 31 October, Autumn Excursion and Of Foxes and Flowers. In addition, the new Act of Elimination, the finale of the story, Bondage, was added. The in-game notice notes, however, that upon completing the final chapter in the Act of Elimination, players will not be allowed to play the game anymore. We'll have more details as we move on to October and November editions, but Emmanuel Ortega, regarded as Emmy, has made a statement regarding the shutdown notice. In addition, he used one of the platforms of TBM Asnok, #MamariaSquad, to pay his tribute. Let's read his message. This is Emmanuel Ortega, social and web manager for #MamariaSquad. I have been a part of the Shino Odyssey universe since its inception on July 2020, and since then I have been committed to enriching its experience through my expertise. This game has been a major factor in bringing the universes together for a never-ending desire, something that I have been looking forward to since its inception. It began when one of the closest people I associate myself with has introduced me to it, and she has ushered her own efforts along with it. that gave me an interest in trying that out, and soon I became hooked to it. Although we could not talk about it anymore since she has since been disappeared without a trace. However, her spirit will always linger with me and will continue her journey through countless efforts and determinations through this game. And in addition, she became one of what I call the Circle, something that I will be cherishing for generations to come. That's why I founded the Seal of the Circle, SLTC, to repay my gratitude towards two of the people who I'm associated with, that I love deeply in my heart. My story had become livelier when I realized one of the characters in the game, Snow White, perfectly fits my vision of taking matters with prejudice and consideration, where impartiality becomes the basis for a rational approach to every situation. And I vowed, moving forward, that I'll represent as the endeared symbol of justice. During my experience with Sino Alice, I have a game named The Lonely Bride, which initially was attributed to one of the classes associated with Snow White, specifically the cleric class, where she endowed herself in an alternative revision of a wedding dress. However, that has changed when she debuted later in her mage class, something that shocked the community as she endowed in an elegant, literal wedding dress itself. This, complete with a stamp titled Snow White Bride, has made me stuck upon for the remainder of my experiences as a Who, while becoming as one of the players who represent Snow White. Those experiences, among other instances I did not mention in this message, are what I will be taking with when the global edition finally seals the library into a halt. The memories and experiences I had with it become a foundation that will be inherited by the ideas that I will populate in its honor. To every guild that I have fought a battle on in the Colosseum, to every player whom I had a co-op battle with, to everyone who have stuck with the community to its final breath, I thank you for your never-ending commitment in harnessing the stories from within. To Square Enix and Pokelabo, without both of your efforts, Sino Alice would not have been possible. Your commitment to ensuring quality on your game has been one of the biggest factors in which I loved, and I hope that will carry on with your future endeavors. Arigatou gozaimasu. To those who have read the very end of this message, I hope you can support Sino Alice Global to the very end. You can find him on Twitter/X at Sino Alice Global, or play the game along with me to the end. Let us wander around the library for the final time. And before I can conclude this message, I will not be going anywhere. As soon as Pokelabo pulls a plug on Global Edition, I will be around on the Japanese edition. So you can expect the same experiences as it would during my first experiences on the former. Justice continues to live on, Sino Alice Global Edition, from July 1 of 2020 to November 15, 2023. You can take a look at the efforts via the hashtag Manga Squad website, which will be shown after this program. Now it's time for the monthly updates regarding the platform and the collective. Let's start off with what VStream has changed during its deployments. Uplifts were released, marking the first ever monetization platform for partner VTubers. It behaves just like Hype Chat on Twitch and Super Chat on YouTube when you can send money to VTubers, and your message will be sticked on top of the chat box. On 20 September, VStream has been hit with a major issue regarding NVIDIA's Invenc encoder, in which it cannot communicate properly through its CDN provider, Fastly. It was fixed last 22 September. On the same day as the fix for Invenc, creator subscriptions have been released, meaning you can now subscribe to your favorite partner, VTubers. The modal is just the same as Twitch, with subscriber-only emotes and subscriber badges. And last but not the least, more updates for the collective VTresMarias, V San no Maria. The symbols of the Marias, Ara, Hina, and I, are undergoing the redesign and are expected to release within October. The design change comes up with the fact that the previous symbols were not as impactful as they were when they were initially released. The website is still undergoing construction, I know it's hard to juggle between jobs at once, but the website is by then paused for other priorities. Development is to resume during October. The fan art remaster is reset from scratch because the way it treats the lines and colors are way off at the moment. More WIP instances are to be determined in the long run before the first anniversary. And now, for the events to be expected from the benefactor, yours truly. Music remakes will return. I'm really excited to go back to writing music to make up what was lost. You can expect more developments with the hashtag #AgaMusic. The VTuber lore, Mother the After Story, will begin by the first week of October. They are set to release by 27 December, the first anniversary of the collective. And on 17 October, Arcana the Illusionist and I will discuss Rosalia's legacy as we celebrate the birthday of our beloved Osimane, Shiroka ni Rinko, and Aiba Aina, the Japanese CV for Minato Yukina. We have so much to look forward to as the end of 2023 approaches, but until then, let's do what impacts the community overall. But before we officially conclude, let's take a look at the comments. So, Amanda the Ghost, my stream's constantly starting again for me. I'm really sad to hear that, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Tomasius, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in on the stream. And it's a real pleasure. So, with that on it, we'll have no comments now. And that concludes the September edition of the State of the VTuber Community. A special thanks to VStream for their incredible service thus far. To the Leaves, Nimbusols, and Tunans, thank you for your continuous patronage for the program. Don't forget that we'll be publishing it as a VOD later on, so look for State of the VTuber Community podcast playlist on YouTube. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next edition.